Hey there, Tim here from the Burnlackers. Today I'm going to show you how we make multi-camera and multi-track audio live music videos at our gigs. We're going to talk about the cameras, the audio setup we use, and how I mix, sync, and edit the audio and video into a live performance music video. I'm also going to cover some of the mistakes that I have made and things for you to consider if you're interested in filming live music videos of your band or somebody else's band. Stick around, it's another Burnlackers Gear Gallery video. We were really fortunate in the early 1990s to have friends and family who owned video cameras that came to a few of our gigs and recorded our performances. Video cameras were very expensive back then and not at all common to see at shows. Although the video and audio quality isn't what we're used to today, we are really lucky to have any kind of video of us at all from those early days. Since 2014, we've been making videos of our gigs and posting them here on our YouTube channel. This all started to happen around the same time my own channel, Rockout Videography, got started. Since then, I've been shooting videos for the Burnlackers and a few other bands and musicians that I know, and I've been slowly upgrading my audio video gear over the last 10 years. We've finally gotten to a point where I think we have the gear and the experience to make good live music videos. When making any kind of video, there are obviously two separate components, the video and the audio. Both are really important. Let's talk about the video first. Although a live music video shot on just one camera can be interesting, more camera angles equals more energy and makes the video more interesting to watch. There are two tools for accomplishing this. The first is to have more than one camera set up to record. The other is to use cameras with a resolution greater than the final video you plan. This will allow you to use any one camera for both a close shot and a wide shot in your final edit, as well as the ability to pan and zoom within each of these shots. We are currently using 3 Canon G50 camcorders and shooting in 4K with the focus set manually. We also have a few Canon HF R800s that shoot in 1080 HD that we use for additional shots. One of the issues that always needs to be addressed is camera placement. When we are shooting a live video in a bar, restaurant, club, or other venue, this is limited by the physical layout of the room and the placement of furniture. We always need to think about where people will be walking or dancing and avoid causing problems with the customers or the staff. People don't always notice or think about cameras and will sometimes stand right in front of them, walk through them, or accidentally even knock them over if they're not paying attention. We mostly use tripods for the G50s, but also use mic stands with camera mount adapters and thin selfie stick tripod stands for situations where we need a small footprint, especially with the lighter HF R800s. Another issue is proximity to subwoofers or sitting the camera on the stage or any other surface that's vibrating. This can cause the camera to vibrate whenever the kick drum is hit or when really low bass notes are played. Having multiple cameras gives me options when shots are disturbed by vibrations or unintentional interference from people at the venue. Most of the time, these videos are done without the opportunity to test things or spend a lot of time on setup, so I may not find issues like vibrations, low light, or autofocus problems until I sit down to edit. The more cameras I have, the more options I will have to save the video in the edit. Now, let's talk about the audio. Audio is arguably more important than video when it comes to live music videos. If you try to use a built-in mic on your phone or camera to record a live band, it probably isn't going to come out sounding very good. We usually connect a Rode Video Mic Pro to one of our G50s as a backup, and we'll still use this when we record a gig without our full multi-track setup. However, what I have really always wanted to do is record a full multi-track audio setup that we can mix into a DAW and sync to our video. It turns out this is a challenge when you're playing a live gig at a venue where there's a PA system and front of house mixer that isn't also a multi-track recorder. What we needed to do this properly is a way to capture and record multiple microphone and instrument inputs and a way to split our signals or independently record everything. What we are using is a Zoom L20 combo mixer recorder that has 16 combo XLR inputs along with a few 1/4-inch line inputs. We could use this to run our own sound if we needed to while also recording everything, but in this case it's just being used as a multi-track recorder. We use this 50-foot snake to get from the stage to the recorder. It has 16 XLR lines that run back to our recorder. If we want to record separate tracks of everything, we need to either individually double mic the guitar cabs and drums or split the signals. This means the sound engineer puts up his mics and we also put up our own. We did this the first time we used the Zoom L20 and it worked out pretty well. I used simple XLR Y cables to split Sarah and Brad's vocals to our recorder and the front of house mixer. We used a DI box from my bass to send a DI to the front of house and recorded the XLR out from the back of my bass amp. We used a single Audix i5 as an overhead, an Audio-Technica Pro 63 on the snare, and a Sennheiser E902 on the kick. Cameron added a kick mic and mics to the guitar cabs going to his front of house mixer. The videos for In the End and What You Deserve were recorded this way, with a little audio from the shotgun mic mounted on the center camera added in for ambience. There is a better, more professional way to do this, but it requires some additional investment. Using double mics is a pain and obviously doesn't work on the vocals. The problem with using Y cables to split our signals is that it could lead to ground loop issues between our gear and the venue's gear. There are some sound engineers out there that may not even let you connect to their system this way. The solution was to buy transformer isolated splitter boxes. Without going into a long technical explanation, these allow us to plug one XLR cable into one side of the box and send two signals out the other side without signal or ground loop issues. We have two boxes, a Behringer Ultralink MS8000 and an ART S8. Both have 8 inputs and 16 outputs. Now, we just mic everything up ourselves and connect it to one of the splitter boxes. We send one cable from each channel to our snake and back to our recorder. Cameron then just runs an XLR from each channel of our splitter boxes to his stage snake. Samuel adjusts gain inputs going into our recorder during Cameron's sound check, and they communicate before moving on to the next instrument. Everything goes quicker for Cameron this way, and it's actually less work for him overall since he doesn't have to mic anything up. This last time we used two Audix i5 dynamic mics as overheads. They sound good and pick up less bleed than condenser mics. We used an SM57 on the snare and the Sennheiser E902 on the kick again. Sarah and Brad like SM58s and used a vocal FX processor on Sarah's vocals. I've been using this digital reference DRI 100 instrument mic on Jim's Fender Twin amp for years, and it sounds great. We used Brad's SM57 on his amp this time and ran an XLR cable from my bass amp's XLR out again. Everything went to the splitters and out to our recorder and the front of house. Most of the videos in our 2022 and beyond playlist have been or will be recorded this way in the future. When the show is over, we clean up and take the audio and video back home to be mixed and edited. This is where I need to warn you about the one downside to all of this if you're thinking about doing it yourself. It's very time consuming and it's a lot of work. I spend time the night before going over the checklist and making sure we have packed everything that we're going to need. With my bass gear, it's a carload of stuff to pack up the night of the show. It takes us over an hour to unpack and get set up once we get to the venue. Then there's the usual time to set the band up when they arrive an hour later, check camera placements, adjust final mic positions, and do a sound check. All the cameras need to be turned on along with the audio recorder, and a clapboard or hand clap needs to be recorded before the show starts so that we can sync it all together later. When the gig is over, it takes almost another hour to break it all down and get it packed up to leave. Unpacking again at home takes time, and it's usually far into the next day before everything has been checked and put away where it belongs. I'm lucky that Samuel has taken an interest in this stuff from an early age and is willing to help out. We are also very fortunate that the staff and owner at the club that we regularly play at are so friendly and willing to accommodate my video production desires. The waiters and the bartenders don't mind if we move a few tables around, and the owner has even let me make some changes to the lighting. Cameron, the sound engineer, is all in when it comes to helping us with our video and audio. Now let's talk about the mixing and editing process. I'm not going to take you through the whole process and show you step by step how to do it, because you're going to have to learn your own software so that you can use it properly. However, there are certain things I want to show you that can probably be used with any DAW and good video editing software that can make composite shots. I first mix the audio in Studio One 6 Pro. I have a template set up that we use for most of our band recordings that allows me to drop in the audio files and have basic EQ and compression plugins set up with reasonable starting points. I will usually start with soloing the vocals and drums and listening for bleed. I then turn on everything else, adjust volume, and make tweaks to the EQ and compression settings as I go along. When it's time to stop messing with it, it's ready for video. I use an older pre-subscription version of HitFilm Pro for all my video editing. I currently do these projects in 1080 HD so I can use a 4K video to zoom, pan, and duplicate shots. After reviewing all the video files and eliminating any that came out unusable, I drop them into a composite shot and find the exact frame of video in each file that matches where the hands or clapboard came together. I use the one that was turned on last as the reference point. By calculating the differences, I can trim the right amount from all the other files, move them to the starting point, and have them sync together. I can then duplicate video tracks and use one for a close shot and one for a wide shot. I can sync my mixed audio track to this timeline by listening for the sound of the clap. If I have a shot of the recording being started in a video with the clap, that can help me get even closer. You need to turn off the audio from the camera so that only the mixed audio is heard. The next thing I do is use keyframing to fade in and out of the different camera shots throughout a song. Then I pan and zoom inside each of those shots using keyframing. I add graphics and text, fade in or out of the audio if needed at the beginning and end, and I have a live music video ready to post on YouTube. As I warned you, it's a lot of work and it takes a bunch of gear to do it right. However, if you have the resources, motivation, and patience to pull it off, you can make a really good live music video for your band. I think the next step is to do these videos in one of our own studios where we can take our time to set up. We don't have to deal with using splitters, and we can do as many takes as necessary to get every song right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out the live music videos that we've been posting here on the channel. We've been writing and playing and recording original music for over 30 years now. There are also some cool covers on our channel that you'll probably like as well. Well, we hope you found this video informative, and take care.